Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is Evelyn Graham, the queen of the charts, and I would love to welcome each one of you this morning to our BYOB Profit Call. I'm sure that after yesterday's celebration, celebrating our movement 4 years onwards and upwards, that you are looking forward to seeing a new day, a new dawn for each one of us, new beginnings. That's how we want to start the new year, new beginnings. This morning, just seeing you joining our live market analysis call, our profit call, makes it a super great day for me. And I'm sure it's going to do the same for you too. So ladies and gentlemen, as you log on to this call this morning, drop it in the chat, and let me know where you're calling in from along with those affirmations as we get this call started. Drop it in the chat, This morning we have Orlando, in the house. Good morning, Orlando, good morning. From the city of Orlando, welcome to the call. We also have Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to the call. We also have Milwaukee. Welcome to the call. Milwaukee again. Welcome to this call. It's good to have you on board this morning. Welcome to the call. And Minnesota, I can see you. Welcome to the call, Milwaukee. Welcome to the call. We see Virginia as well. Good morning, Virginia. Good morning and welcome to this call. And also out of Jacksonville again, Florida, welcome to the call. It's just great that you've all logged on and you want to be part of a movement that is going somewhere, a part of a movement that is doing great things for us. Welcome, Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to this call. Welcome. And for those who have not yet put it in the chat, I'd like you to just drop your affirmations in and just say where you're calling in from. Good morning, London, UK. Good morning. Welcome to the call. Stone Mountain, I see you. Welcome to the call. Welcome. Manchester, UK. Welcome to the call. Welcome from Texas. Welcome to the call. Toledo, Ohio. Welcome to the call. It's so great to be able to see you all on this morning. Conyers, good morning and welcome to the call all the way from Haiti. We have Haiti in the house. Welcome to the call this morning. I can see Cleveland, Ohio as well. Welcome to the call. Welcome from Toronto, Canada. Welcome to the call. And just let me add that we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. We are streaming live on YouTube and we are streaming live on Facebook. So as we are still in the celebrating mood, Of course we are. Why? Yesterday we celebrated 4 years. And this morning I want to continue celebrating the birth and growth of the Be Your Own Bank movement worldwide. Here we raise our pips glass to many more years of elevation and acceleration. So let's see who else we have here in the house this morning. We have Stone Mountain once again. We are in the house, Cleveland, Ohio. And we have London. Welcome, London. Welcome, London again. Welcome. I can see you. Columbus, Ohio. Welcome. Cleveland, Ohio again. Welcome. We are so happy to know that you joined the right team this morning. So yes, I can see Grand Risings from Milwaukee. Welcome, welcome to this call. We also have Nigeria. Wow, welcome to the call. And so I would like you all to raise your voices so that they can be heard today in the rally cry as we say 2 million strong. 2 million strong. That's the rally cry from us. We have a hot mic. So for the integrity of the call, let's just keep those mics off. So do not forget to put your affirmations in the chat. We appreciate those affirmations because that's important. And I know if you're quite new to the call, you might not know why, but we actually want you to put them in the chat because they are powerful. And if you're not sure what those affirmations are, this is just me giving you the words to put on there. I am an educated BYOB master trader, anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am 777. And yes, you can add to this. You can add to it. Just do not take away from it. And why am I emphasizing on those affirmations? You need to say them in the mornings. Whenever you are able to say them, you need to say them. You need to type them. And that way you will believe it in your heart because it's powerful. I can speak and say that from the bottom of my heart because I know that works. And I know it will one day manifest. It's going to manifest. And then you will be able to walk in it. So do not copy and paste. Please type it out. So we are about to get started, and I could see some other affirmations and 2 million strong. I saw Milwaukee coming into the house. Welcome, 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 welcome. Also, Memphis, Tennessee, welcome to this call. It's great that we are all here and we want to have a great start to a great Wednesday. It's Wednesday today and we want to have a great start. So let me officially welcome you to our live market analysis, our BYOB profit call. What does BYOB stands for? It stands for Be Your Own Bank. So let me add that I am part of the Be Your Own Bank movement, which is the largest economic empowering movement in the history of mankind. Yes, we are making history. Our vision is 2 million families to be financially educated and impacted by March 2022. We are already in 2022. March is just around the corner. 2 million strong is what we say this morning. And yes, we are already having global impact, and we will continue to do so. So good morning. And for those who are coming on this call for the first time, go ahead and drop a 111 in the chat, a 111 in the chat. If you're still learning how to cash out, or you're still mastering the skill set, drop a 222 in the chat. And if you're already cashing out, I could see 77s yesterday. I hope I can see some more today. Drop a 777 in the chat if you are already cashing out. And if you are compounding, give me an 888 in the chat. If you are compounding, give me an 888 in the chat. I tell you that we're going to see mighty things in 2022. We are going to walk in our excellence and we are going to walk in our success. So drop it in the chat. Let everyone see what we're doing here because we want to expose this movement. We want people to know when we share that this is a movement that is going to take us to the next level of our financial freedom. Let's expose this movement. Let them see the education and the value of it, because people like me, people like you, we are able to show them what this is really about. We're taking it to the next level. So thank you for showing us the 777s and the 888s. I appreciate that. And now we want to move right ahead. To get this call started, first of all, let me just go through the call schedule with you. So we do a call schedule so that you know how it works and that you will be able to understand what we do. So Mondays to Thursdays, we are live in the market with our profit call. So yes, Mondays to Thursdays, we do our profit call at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our profit talks in the evenings. So Tuesday night, we begin at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our BYOB basics. And that's followed with a talk by our finance doctor. On Wednesdays, we have our HFX basics. And today is Wednesday. So we are going to have our HFX basics, and that will be followed by our live HFX trading. We are changing lives. We are doing so many calls. We are about to make more history. And then on Thursday is our advanced training. That's BYOB Market Talks. And so in the evenings, we have on Thursdays, we have our market talks at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So bear that in mind, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our advanced training, BYOB Market Talks, the training for that time. And so, yes, I'm highlighting what the week ahead looks like for you. Why? So you can plug in. There's so much training opportunities, and it gives you a chance to plug in. I want us all to walk in excellence and success. Now, all I need you to do now, I want you to recognize that the education is very important. An educated trader is a profitable trader. And that's what I can say with ease. And so for those who are new, who have just enrolled, the call schedule is actually there on the website for the steps to success. You can go back and you can have a look at the times on there. So you will be able to see for the week what the times are as well. Just in case you've missed the times will be there for you. Okay, so it's all there, the times. And for the Wednesday, which is this evening, the call is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So once again, welcome, welcome, and a good morning to you all. So for those who want to know the time for the HFX, it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. And now we will be looking at moving on to the first thing that we do first in the mornings. What do we do first in the mornings? I know for those of you who have been coming on every morning, we do something first before we get started to look at the market. What do we do first? Anyone remember? Thank you. Thank you. We are going to be looking at the news this morning. I'm making sure that we are all doing this together. We are all going to get to the finish line together. So we are going to be checking our news this morning. And we are about to check our news. Let me share my screen. Okay, sharing my screen with you now. So we are going to be looking at the economic calendar. I have on here FX Street. So we had some JPY news, but that was way back. So pretty much on your time, it was yesterday evening. We had a speech, but now we're looking more at the market here for US market at 8:30. We have US news here at 8:30. And you know, we would have heard about the CPI before. CPI, Consumer Price Index. we have 2 red folders. Well, at the same time, it's the same time. We are having US news at 8:30 this morning. And let's check another news source. We tend to check 3 news sources. 3 news sources. So we try to aim for 3. And just let me reiterate why we aim for 3. Sometimes one of the news sources may not make the notes as noted as a red folder, and that is why it's good to check more than one news source. So this is my FX book. Can you see it's actually highlighted US news as well, where we're looking at inflation rates on here as well. So we have high impact news, red folders. Again, we have confirmed that on my FX book. And on Forex Factory, we see a further confirmation. It's noted here, CPI. So we can see that there is the red folders coming out at 8:30 this morning. Now, the reason why we highlight the fact that there is news coming out, the reason for that is we know that when we do our technical analysis, it's very important that we do that. Why? Just so we can identify when a currency pair is buying or selling. And that's all well and good. But if we do not check the news, then we will not have the opportunity to profit the way we would like to profit, because sometimes it can go into a big pullback, the currency pair that you're trading. So that is why we check the news, because fundamentals is what's moving the market. So yes, a gentle reminder once again, please wait for news release to take effect before jumping in to take a trade. So you wait for the news effect to take place. So we can note this morning that we have US news coming out at 8:30. I wouldn't expect you to jump in a trade just before 8:30. You would need to wait for the effects of the news to take place. And the one thing we should remember about the US currency is that it's a safe haven. So when there's news coming out on this currency, it does have a major impact on the market. So that is why I want you to pay close attention to the news on the US this morning. Okay, so without any further ado, I would like to move on to what we do next in this trading session this morning. What we do next. So pretty much we are on our market call, our market analysis call this morning. We start the week off, as you know, on Monday and Tuesday, we start the week off with the basics. We continue at this time as well, even though we are middle of the week, we're still looking at the basics at this time of the morning. So our focus will be on the lower time frames. So it will be on the lower time frames. So the BYOB cash out strategy is the foundation. So this is where we are cashing out with our 10 pips. This is what we do. We look forward to cashing out with our 10 pips. So on this call, I will help you to understand the BYOB cash out strategy in its simplicity. And then at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the profit call is the advanced call. This is where you get to look at a bigger picture of the market. And this call is also tailored towards the indices. So make a note of that. So later on this morning, you can see at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll be able to see a bigger picture of the market. So basically, our call at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we look at the basics, but then the foundation is laid, and then you can build on that foundation. So when you come on at 9 a.m., you get to see a bigger picture of the market. So this is just laying the foundation for you. Today is Wednesday. We know it to be Win-Win Wednesday or Wealthy Wednesday. So come on, look out for a Win-Win Wednesday today. That should spark some excitement by now. It should. spark some excitement by now. And so I'm taking you to another screen. So we're going to be looking at the vibrator, where we can open the door to becoming our very own bank. Did you hear me? We are now opening the door to becoming our very own bank. In other words, be your own bank. That is what we're going to do now. So now that we are on the vibrator, first things first. Anyone remembers what we do when we first come to the vibrator? I'll see who is paying attention. What do we do when we first get to the vibrator? What do we do? First things first, what do we do? Okay, I see that you're all thinking. The first thing we do when we get to the vibrator is we salute our mastermind team. That's what we do. The first things we do when we get to the vibrator, we salute the mastermind team. So I would like the opportunity to salute our mastermind team this morning. Why? For allowing us access to the BYOB cash out strategy and for allowing us access to use the tools as well as the BYOB cash out strategy. Are you in agreement with me? We have to try and make our mastermind team recognize that we appreciate them. So at this time, I would like to thank you, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, our visionary. I thank you so much for the way in which you helped us to be able to use a tool, the vibrator, our premier tool that is comparable to what the big banks of the world use. Dr. Craig Bytewood, you are truly our finance doctor. We hear it coming out night after night when you do your market talks. You help us to understand a lot of what's happening in the market. And thank you, Tasha M. Dyer, a phenomenal woman who is the creator of the BYOB cash out strategy. And what's also good to know is that this phenomenal strategy is housed in the vibrator and it is also copywritten. So thank you, mastermind team. We do appreciate what you do for us. And now, for those of us who typed 111 in the chat, let me just give you a little brief overview of our super premier tool here, our vibrator. Again, we want to start with the times at the top here. I did mention that we are on the lower time frame. So again, for me, I'm only looking at the 5-minute triggers and the 15-minute triggers. So as you have seen, I've taken off the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the day. So we will be looking at the triggers for the 5 and 15 minutes this morning. So you can see the trade opportunities are here for us. They're here. These are the pairs. Next to it, we have a color. It's color coded for us. So we see green, it means it's called for potential buy. We see red, it's called for potential sell. It gives us the time. It tells us how long it's been called for. And it also tells us the call price. So you can see a call price there. And we move across, again, the symbols. We have symbol. If we need to search, we can also click here and we can pick up a pair that's on here as well by clicking on that. We have our time frames. We have our 5 minutes. We have our 15 minutes and the 1 hour, because those are the time frames I will be using for the basics call this morning. At the bottom of our screen, I want you to see the sessions that are here. If it's actually colored, this is actually the London session. So you can see our Big Ben clock here. So you can see that London session is open. The others are faded. So it means they're not yet opened. Now, as you can see, I'm moving my mouse on the screen. At the bottom, we have the date and we have the time. So you can see the date and the time if you're in a trade. You can see the date and the time. Now, also to the bottom of my screen, I can also show you that you can click here where it looks like a little sun at the bottom. You can click there. So I'm clicking there, and you can go to count down to bar close, and you can see the candle when, if you want to count down on your candle, it's right there. So if you want to follow a trade and watch the candle counting down, you can put that there as well. On the right, you have the prices. Those are the prices for this particular pair on here. And we have to the extreme right, that price is the current price, or should I say the live price in the market. So that's just giving you a little introduction so you can familiarize yourself with the vibrator. So if you have typed a 111 in the chat this morning, this is for you to have an idea of what's happening on the vibrator. And so at this time, I want to move on, and I want to look at the BYOB cash out strategy in its simplicity. Any questions, any comments, any testimonies? If you're still with me, I want you to be with me. Can you type a 555 in the chat, please? Thank you. I see I have a number of persons following, so thank you. It's actually a lot of encouragement to see that you're all still following what I'm doing here. So now I want to look at a currency pair that will allow us to see the BYOB cash out strategy played out. So if I click on, well, I'm on a pair at the moment, so I could use that one. Okay, so basically we have the pair Euro NZD on here, and I want to see how the BYOB cash out strategy plays out. So what we do with the BYOB cash out strategy, we look at the steps. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. The first indicator that we will be looking at is the stochastic. It's at the bottom of the vibrator where we have this purple shaded area. This is our stochastic. Now, our stochastic allows us to see price traveling. So when you see these lines moving up and going down, it tells us that this is how price is moving. And this is a momentum indicator. Now, in saying all of that, what's important for you to remember is that it is a leading indicator. It's a leading indicator. So this is why we call it our first step. So your eyes must default to number 1. The first step is the stochastic. That's the first thing we look at for this strategy. The BYOB cash out strategy. That's the first thing we look at this morning. So the blue line, as you can see, crosses above the red line, and it needs to be, when you see that 20 at the right, so this actually runs from 0 to 100. We focus on the 20. So around the 20 marker, or even if it dropped below 20, anywhere around this area, this 20 marker area, we look for a trade when we see the blue crossing above the red in an upward direction, in an upward momentum. This tells us that a trade is getting ready to buy. That is what it's telling us. It's getting ready to do a buy. That's not the only thing we look for. We now need to move to the second indicator. So this just gives us the starting point, and that's why we start with it. It gives us the starting point, and then we move to our candles. What's happening? Our candle has to be a green candle with a flat bottom. A green candle with a flat bottom. And you can see we have that there. And the PSAR would need to be below the flat bottom green candle. So I am going to put arrows there because ideally this is just to show you a play out of the BYOB cash out strategy. So then we will take it to a bigger time frame, which is where we have confluence, and that would be the 1 hour chart. So just let's see how this plays out. So this trade, I am going to go here. Sorry, to my arrow. So this is a green candle. So I'm going to be using that arrow. And right here. So 3 steps have been met. Would you agree with me? 3 steps have been met. The blue line did cross above the red line. I am getting here a green candle with a flat bottom, and I also have a PSAR below the flat bottom green candle. So I am now having alignment on this 15-minute chart. Now I need to now go to the bigger time frame where we have confluence to see how it lines up on there as well. So I'm moving. Now the reason why I put an arrow is that we can follow this. Okay, so we're going to follow. Okay, now you tell me. We are going to look at our number 1 step. Again, that's our stochastic. What are we seeing? The blue line is above the red line and it's moving upwards. It's going in an upward momentum. That's what it's saying here. And so we are looking good on the stochastic. Let's see if we can look good as well with the candle. So now we have our green candle. And in this case, we have a wick. Now, because we are on a bigger time frame, it's okay to have a wick. And we have that wick, it's okay. And on top of that, we have that PSAR. We have that PSAR there as well. So on the 1 hour, we are doing good as well. So 15-minute, we're looking good. 1 hour, we are looking good as well. Now I'm going to take you now to the time frame where we have that entry opportunity. If you think you know what that is, can you type it in the chat? What time frame do I go to for entry? What's my time frame for entry? If you know, type it in the chat. If not, I will then move straight into. Very good. Thank you very much. You are definitely making my day a great one. We are going to go to the 5-minute time frame. And again, because I use my arrow to highlight it, I don't need to look for it. It's right here. And now I'm looking on the 5-minute chart. Now, the first indicator that I would need to look at is my stochastic. It's my leading indicator. You always follow the leader. It's my leading indicator. And so you can see here, the blue line was actually above the red line. So that's perfect. When I looked here, I saw a green candle. So yes, the buy is still there for me. And on top of that, I have a flat bottom green candle. You can see that. Now, I didn't have to have a flat bottom, but it's always great when you have a flat bottom because there is a less likelihood of the trade pulling back in a big way. So flat bottom is even greater. So we have a flat bottom. And on top of that, we have another confirmation, which is the PSAR. Now, the PSAR doesn't always have to be here, but it's even stronger, a stronger indication for a buy, just seeing that PSAR there as well. So even though it doesn't have to be there, the fact that it's there, it's great news for us. So we can see stochastic. We can tick number 1. The blue is above the red. We can tick number 2, which is our green candle. We see a green candle, and on top of that, it's got a flat bottom. And below that, we have our PSAR. So you would have seen that this would have lined up so well for us to have had a valid trade where we would have been able to get our 10 pips and cash out. So that is just giving you an insight of the BYOB cash out strategy in its simplicity. And now at this time, we will be looking for a live trade. We are looking for trading opportunities in the market. So let's move over to the tool that we've been using this week. Anyone remembers what I go to? Which tool I go to in order to take my trades? Anyone remembering which tool that is? Perfect. We go to the Harmonics Scanner. That's where we've been going this week. First, we're going to the Harmonics Scanner. So you see our Harmonics Scanner here. We have the Harmonics Scanner because we are looking for a trade opportunity. The reason why I push that we do go to the Harmonics Scanner is because more so we are using a lower time frame to analyze our trades. You remember, we have a better chance when we use these two tools because the harmonic pattern alone cannot do it. And so it doesn't always play out. And that's why when we look at it, we then take the information that we have on the prices and we take it to the vibrator where we continue to analyze. So we take it to the vibrator to do further analysis. So that way we can see a potential trade. So on the 15-minute harmonics, we can see that we have got, just if you were looking at your harmonic scanner this morning, we normally have a number of price feeds on here. For example, Hugo's Way, FX Choice, and a few others. This morning, unfortunately for me, I could only find one, and that's Owanda. So we only have the one price feed this morning. So we have to make use of it, okay? You would have noticed if you were on yesterday that we had this called the Take Profit 1, Take Profit 2, Take Profit 3. And I did say, you know, the name wasn't for actual take profits. That's because it's not giving you take profits. It was just worded that way. So today you can see it's not worded that way anymore. They're calling it Idea Goal number 1, Idea Goal 2, and Idea Goal 3. So I'm sure they wanted to bring more clarity as well. So they've changed the name. So now let's look at this trade, Euro NZD. It is actually the pattern, the harmonic scanner, like I have mentioned before today, identifies reversal patterns at support and resistance levels. So it's identifying reversal patterns at support and resistance levels. I want you to bear that in mind. So the pattern that we have this morning from the harmonic is for let's see if anyone remember what it is here for. Is it a buy or a sell? Let's see if we have any brave soldiers. We do have some brave soldiers on here this morning. We have it been, yes, identified for a sell. Perfect. So this is actually identifying it for a sell on here. So we have pretty much our idea goal 1 for 1.67589, and our idea goal 2 is 6747799. If you want to make a note of it as well, it's fine. And our third one is 1.67308. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I need to plug these values when we go to the vibrator. We need to plug these values in when we go back to the vibrator. So you can see Euro NZD here. It was identified on here for a sell. Let's see what it's been identified for on the vibrator. Okay, so for the Euro NZD here, okay, we have it for a buy. So what's happening? We see where it's two different directions that they've been identified for a trade. Can you see that? The harmonics identified it for a sell. The vibrator identified it for a buy. So let's remind you that the vibrator is triggered in a correction. Can you remember what that means? A correction. The vibrator is triggered in a correction. And it was triggered on the 15-minute chart here. So we are going to go to our 15-minute chart. I'll just take these arrows off. So we are going to the 15-minute chart. And the reason why I would still have to go to my 15-minute chart anyhow is because that's where we analyze our trades. Okay, so this is our 15-minute chart here. The trade was called for a buy on the vibrator. So first things first, let me go ahead and I'm going to draw my call price line. But just for you to remember, the vibrator is triggered in a correction and the harmonic scanner identifies a pattern, a reversal pattern. And one of the reasons why we're seeing two different directions this morning is one is triggered in a correction. So that's why it triggers it in a correction. So one is doing a buy and that is actually a pattern here. So they both trigger or identifies patterns at a support and resistance level. They both trigger or identifies a pattern at a support and resistance level. And so that's why you get one calling it for a buy and one calling it for a sell. And that is why it's so important that we take it from the harmonics and we take it onto the vibrator so that we can do further analysis. That is why we like to bring it back to the vibrator for further analysis. And now I will go ahead and I will draw my horizontal line. So here we have been given the call price as 1.67. Let me get to my settings. So it's 1.67618. There you go. And I have now plugged in my line. So it's highlighted and this is where the call price is. Now, before I even plug in the prices that we were given on the Harmonics Scanner, the reason why it's important that I put in my horizontal line here for the call price is if it breaks this line, which is a support and a resistance, the likelihood is that once it breaks it and completely breaks it, it's okay to get in for your 10 pips and cash out. There are times when I will say to you, it might not be the best thing to take a buy. And that is because if we look below this call price, if we're close to another level where we are going to have big rejections taking place, then I would suggest that it's not a good idea to take the trade when it breaks, because we will butt up onto a strong rejection level. And that's why we sometimes say, I wouldn't necessarily take the buy there. So for those of us who were on the call yesterday, thank you for those who remembered site level. So for those of you who were on the call yesterday, there was a trade that I had asked you to put on your watch list, and that was GBP AUD. And I said to you, I wouldn't take the buy there. I would rather wait and see how it plays out. And guess what? It did hit that site level yesterday, and it did pull back, and it did sell. So are you able to see that it's all coming together when we use both these tools, the Harmonics Scanner and the vibrator? If it's clear and getting clearer, can you drop a 555 in the chat, please? So we have now drawn our horizontal line at our call price here. We have, and now we are going to look at plugging in our prices that we had on the Harmonics Scanner. We are going to plug that in here now on this trade. And here we go for our line here. So we can draw our horizontal line. Again, it was called for a buy. It was Euro USD. Okay, let's see, Euro USD. Yes, so it was called for a buy on the vibrator, but it was called for a sell on the harmonic. So let's go here and we will put in our price. So our first idea goal was 1.675839. So there we are. It's been, the price, as you can see, is lower than the existing call price because the harmonic pattern identified it for a sell. So our next one is, let's go to the settings and plug that information in. So the next one, 64799. There we go. And now we have one more to plug in, because we were given 3, idea goal 1, idea goal 2, idea goal 3. So we now enter our price. So that is 1.67308. Okay, so you can see the levels where the prices have gone. And now, basically, what we want to look at is the trade idea that's been given. And that's why we need to analyze the trade. So again, let us go back to the Be Your Own Bank, BYOB cash out strategy. And we are now going to just look at the strategy again to see if this is a good trade that we can get into. Now, we look at the stochastic first. It's been called on the vibrator for a buy. Now, I want you to see for yourself, it's called for a buy. What's happening now is it's usually called in a correction. Again, if it's called for a buy, we would expect the price to be moving up, isn't it? Needs to be moving up. But when it's called in the correction, it simply means it's still called for a buy, but you will notice the last candle that is there appears to be selling. That's because the price is going in the opposite way. And that's what the correction means. Price will go in the opposite way. So this is what you would expect to see because it's in a correction. And it was called on the 15 minutes. So it's in a correction at the moment. So yes, this is not ready on the 15 minute because we would expect the blue to be above the red. The blue should be above the red. So it's not yet getting ready, but it's just for education as well. The blue needs to be above the red. Also, the candle that needs to be formed would be a green candle. And the green candle would need to have a flat bottom. It would need to have a flat bottom. And on top of that, this PR that you see here would need to be below the flat bottom green candle. So again, there is no way it's ready on the 15-minute chart for a buy. You can see it's still going through the correction. And again, if we were to look at the 1 hour, let's see what direction it is in on the 1 hour, which is where we get our confluence. So in our case, we go to the stochastic first. The blue is above the red. So it's still pretty much showing that a bit of buy is still in there at the moment. The blue is above the red. we see a red. Well, it's just changed to green. Now back, so it's a little bit undecisive what it's doing right now. But again, if we were to see a green candle here, then it would tell us that, okay, so there might still be some buy going on here, but it's going between green and red, so it's indecisive right now. But again, we would expect to see a green candle if it was continuing to buy here. The PSAR is in the right place, but again, on the 1 hour, the PSAR is not a must. It's additional confirmation, but it's not a must. We would need to see a green candle. Presently, it's showing green, so we don't know for how long, but this is what we expect to see on the 1 hour. Blue above the red for the stochastic. We would need to see a green candle. We're still not seeing a green one. It's not stable. And so clearly the 1 hour is not telling us to get in at all for a buy. 15-minute told us not ready for a buy. 1 hour, which is direction, is telling us I'm not ready for a buy because my candle, the color is red. So again, we would get in on a 5 minutes, but we wouldn't necessarily be looking at 5 minutes because this trade is not ready. The setup is not there. So, okay, we want to also remember that the Harmonics Scanner had identified it for a sell. So what you would have noticed here is that a sell is taking place on the 5 minute. Let's go back to where we analyze on the 15 minute. And what has happened? Can you see what's happened here? What's really happening here? It started to do a sell. It started to do a sell on the 15 minute on here. As you can see, it's broken the line on here. And this is what the Harmonics Scanner had called it for. And it broke it here. So make a note, it's already gone in a sell. And the Harmonic had called it for a sell. So for our seasoned traders, this is a trade that you probably would have jumped in already and gotten a few pips. Why? Because you can see on the 15 minute, the blue is below the red, and it was also identified on the Harmonic Scanner. The blue is below the red. We are having a red candle with a flat top, and our PSAR is on top. So if you're a seasoned trader, this is probably a trade you would have jumped into and gotten a few pips. Okay, so again, this is Euro NZD. I would say continue to watch this trade. You've been given idea 1 and it's broken that. And for those who would have gotten in, if they'd seen that this was happening on the 15 minute, they would have gotten a few pips on there. And again, we have two other idea goals, prices that we have put on here. So again, if it breaks this, again, it's another trade to consider because this level is a support and resistance level. And again, further down. So just bear that in mind. You can put it on your watch list for this morning and take that away. Now we are getting closer and closer to the time when we would probably be finishing or closing this call. So at this time, I would look at asking now if you have any questions, comments, or testimonies, and I will take them now as we are getting closer and closer to that time. We like to analyze at least 2 trades this morning. We were able to do 1. Oh, I appreciate those thank yous. Any questions? Any comments? Any testimonies? So it's good practice if you are already enrolled in the BYOB Academy. Start looking at your Harmonics Scanner, and you can always put your prices onto your vibrator. And even if it's called in 2 different directions based on the training you got this morning, try and practice and practice and practice. You will be rewarded. An educated trader is a profitable trader. And so at this time, before we do anything else, I will just like to ask one more time, any questions, comments, or testimonies? Okay, I'm just seeing all these lovely thank yous. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for thanking me. I appreciate the thank yous. And at this time, I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining our profit call this morning. I had a lovely time just being able to expound on what the BYOB cash out strategy is about. I enjoyed looking at both tools, the Harmonics Scanner and the vibrator, and bringing the prices from the Harmonics Scanner to the vibrator, being able to analyze it on the vibrator. As you know, we need to make that final analysis on the vibrator. So thank you so much for joining. We look forward to a win-win Wednesday, or a wealthy Wednesday. So once again, thank you for joining. This officially ends this profit call.